Hey, it's April from the Noble Garden, and this is my 9th episode of my CSA Harvest Basket series, and I want to talk to you guys about frost. So the weather has been a little cool here, a little bit cooler than what I was hoping for, and we have actually had a total of 4 nights below 30 degrees. It was anywhere from 25 to 28 degrees, and my garden suffered from it. Now, I do have a video out of my first gardener series that talked about covering your plants for the frost, and ironically what I taught them to do for an area that they have smaller, not more professional market growers kind of thing, was to cover it with anything that you have. And ironically, the black stuff I put down and the blanket that I put down on my daughter's garden worked way better than my tunnels. So let's talk about my tunnels. I put this false fabric that I got on top of them, thinking that that was going to insulate enough to keep my plants safe, because that's what you've learned. That's what you have watched. That's what I have researched. And I think the material that I bought is too thin. I also live on a hill, and in one of my episodes of the Beginner Gardener series, I talked about what they would call subclimates, where even though my city says that my low might be this, here where I live, it may be something different, because I live on a hill, and these lower beds, they might freeze. They might get colder. They might stay colder longer. That's something else that I'm kind of thinking about. So I'm going to show you guys the damage and talk about what my plans are, because I want to share everything with you guys. If anyone's doing this type of business or having plans in the future, this kind of thing, I want you to know that there is failure in it, and there are things you're going to learn, and you have to stride with it. I'm not sure what's going to live in this and what's not going to make into this. What we did do was we did start some new seeds. They weren't the cabbages and the cauliflowers, but I did start some broccoli seeds, and I did throw in some more extra lettuces, to where if this round is gone, I can at least make lettuce baskets instead of having some broccoli and cauliflower in there and cabbage. And so yesterday, when my husband was covering this back up, because we're going to have 3 more nights of this cold weather, so I'm going to have a total of 6 cold freezes on my garden within a 2-week span, and I think that's a lot on these little plants. Now, my seedlings that were put in first, that are 2 weeks, remember I put them in every 2 weeks, so the ones that I put in first, they actually were able to handle it, and I think it's because they're older and they're more established. It's the littler ones that did not make it as well, and I think it's because I put them out right before the frost. So guys, I put these out 2 or 3 days before the frost, and I knew the frost was coming, but at that time I was not worried. And I was not worried because in my head is, I'm making these tunnels, and the tunnels are going to protect them, and it didn't. And I think 2 factors play in it. I think the seedlings were young, and I think that the fabric that I bought is not thick enough to protect it like I want. So I'm going to show you the damage, and then I'm going to go around and I'm going to put the fabric back on these tunnels. And when I do that, I'm actually going to put a second layer on top of it, hoping that 2 layers will do the trick. So let's go ahead and look at the damage. So these were the newer cabbage. No, this is broccoli and cauliflower. So this is the newer broccoli and cauliflower. You see how dead everything looks? Now, the one thing I will show you that my husband pointed out to me last night is you can see green growth on them in the middle. Even like this little guy, that little leaf that's coming out. But the damage was pretty extensive. I'm going to turn the camera. And these are the cabbages. But as you see, even with the cabbages, you can see new growth in the middle of them already. So guys, you see the damage. It doesn't look good. I'm hoping that the little bit of growth in the middle that we see will be signs that it can hang on and recover. The other thing I have considered is going to a local nursery and picking up some of the stuff that I'm possibly going to lose and replace these. I don't really want to do that because I want to be able to tell my customers that my garden is planted by me from seed to end, so that way everything is planted here by me and not bought or sourced anywhere else. So I think for now, we had 2 more nights. Tonight's the worst of the rest of the frost. And then next week is actually very, very pretty, and it should be able to have some recover from it. Because it's going to be like in this like slow 70s and 40s and 50s at night. So it should be able to recover from that. I thank you guys for watching. I do not want to hide anything from you. That is why I'm showing you this. And this is a lesson I have to learn. And this is my first year ever trying to grow this much food. And this is my first year where if it dies, it wasn't just for me. It was for my business. And it's just something I've got to figure out. And I will. And I enjoy sharing everything with you guys. I thank you guys for watching. All right, guys. 2 more nights. 2 more nights. Let's hope this double layered works better than single layered.